At 17, I was arrested after my stepdad falsely accused me of abusing my little sister. My mom believed him, saying you're evil. I proved her wrong, and now she begs to make amends. I was 17 when the police showed up at Westwood High, and it wasn't for a drill. My stepfather had just accused me of the unthinkable, and my mom's words cut deeper than any physical blow: you're evil. I've always known it. The fluorescent lights in the chemistry classroom hummed, a stark contrast to the sudden, heavy silence that fell as everyone turned to stare. I could feel every pair of eyes burning into my back as I walked out, not knowing what horror waited for me outside that door. They didn't tell me anything until we hit the station. Paul, my stepdad, had filed a report claiming I'd inappropriately touched my 7-year-old half-sister, Lily. The detective's voice felt muffled, underwater, impossible to grasp. I kept asking him to repeat it, surely I'd misunderstood. Lily meant everything to me. I'd changed her diapers, taught her to ride her bike, my hands steady on the seat. This accusation? It made absolutely no sense. They put me in this interrogation room, beige walls, a metal table bolted down, a chair designed to be uncomfortable. Detective Hayes came in first, her eyes kind, making me think she might actually understand, might see this was all a terrible mistake. She asked about my relationship with Lily. My voice cracked as I told her everything: Sunday board games, homework help, bedtime stories with silly voices. Her expression never shifted. Her questions got increasingly specific, making my stomach clench. Had I been alone with Lily? Of course, I was her brother. Helped her bathe when she was little? Yes, when Mom was at work. Seen her undressed? Well, she was a kid, sometimes she forgot to close the bathroom door. Every innocent answer felt twisted, turned into something dark. Hours passed. A male detective took over, much more aggressive. He stood over me, voice raised, insisting I just admit it, that they had evidence, that Lily had told them everything. I just kept saying no. Because there was nothing to confess. My throat was raw. My hands trembled trying to sip the water they'd given me. The fluorescent hum drilled into my skull. Finally, a phone call. My fingers shook dialing Mom's number. I was so sure she'd clear this up. She answered, and I started explaining the misunderstanding, Paul's unthinkable accusation. She cut me off. Her voice was cold, sharp like broken glass. You're evil. I've always known it. The words hit me harder than any punch. I dropped the phone, scrambling to pick it up. I begged her, "What do you mean? Please listen." She just talked over me, her tone shriller. She brought up old fights, a rude comment to Paul, bad grades. Nothing made sense. Nothing connected. Paul saw you, she hissed. He saw what you did to Lily. You're not my son anymore. Then she hung up. I stood there, holding a dead phone, staring at the institutional green wall. I couldn't process it. Then a memory surfaced, 6 years old, scraped knee, Mom kissing it, telling me she loved me more than anything. The woman who said that and the one who just disowned me, they were two different people. They arrested me formally after that. Miranda writes. Fingerprints. Mugshot. It all felt unreal, like watching a movie of my own life. They took my shoelaces, my belt, handed me orange clothes smelling of detergent. The holding cell was small, cold, with a metal bench and a toilet without a seat. I sat there for what felt like days, replaying every moment with Lily, desperately searching for anything that could be misinterpreted. Juvenile court was 3 days later. They released me to Aunt Sarah, Mom's younger sister, in Maplewood. Sarah picked me up, lips pressed in a thin line. She didn't say much, but at least she didn't call me evil. That was something. Her one-bedroom apartment was small. She put an air mattress in the living room. That first night, I stared at the ceiling, cars passing below. My phone was evidence. No calls, no social media. The isolation was suffocating. I worried about Lily. What could Paul have told her to say? Sarah was a paralegal. The next morning, over cereal, she told me she'd contacted a defense attorney, David Miller. He'd agreed to take my case. Appointment that afternoon. David's office was in an old building, creaky wooden floors. He was younger than I expected, maybe early 40s, graying hair, glasses slipping down his nose. He shook my hand, gestured to a leather chair. Sarah sat beside me, her presence a quiet anchor. "Tell me everything," David said, pulling out a yellow legal pad. "Start from the beginning." I told him about my family. Mom, 19, pregnant with me. My biological father, Daniel, gone before I was born. Mom raised me alone until she met Paul when I was 10. He was a pharmaceutical sales rep she met at work. They dated a year, then married. Lily was born when I was 10. At first, Paul seemed okay. Fishing trips, taught me to change a tire. Didn't try to be my dad. But after Lily was born, things shifted. He became controlling, especially with Mom. Always needing to know where she was, criticizing her spending, her weight. Mom shrank, quieter, withdrawn. Paul's attitude toward me changed too. Constant criticism. Nothing was good enough. My grades, my friends, my help around the house. Mom rarely defended me. When I tried to talk about Paul, she'd sigh, say I was making things difficult. By 17, I just wanted to survive until college. Part-time at a grocery store, saving every penny, keeping my head down. Lily was the bright spot. Funny, smart, creative. Drawing, making up stories. Never a burden. David listened, scribbling notes. When I finished, he asked about the timeline. Last time alone with Lily? 2 days before the accusation. Mom and Paul were out for their anniversary. We watched a movie, ate pizza, played cards. Completely ordinary. What about Paul? David asked. Has he ever been inappropriate with you or Lily? The question startled me. Paul wasn't physically abusive, but his behavior with Lily had been off lately. Overly possessive. Didn't like her with friends. Got angry if she talked about boys, even at 7. He put a lock on her bedroom door months ago, claiming privacy, but kept the only key. I told David all of it. His expression stayed neutral, but I saw him underline something on his pad. He asked more about Paul's behavior, Mom's response, our household dynamics. Then, he explained the legal situation. Serious. Even as a minor, I could be tried as an adult. If convicted, a lifetime as a registered offender. The weight crushed me. But I didn't do anything, I insisted. There's no evidence. A child's testimony is evidence, David replied carefully. We need to understand what Lily said and why. She could be lying because someone told her to. She could be confused or misinterpreted something innocent. Or she could have genuinely experienced something traumatic. But the perpetrator isn't you. That last possibility had already haunted me in that cell. It made me sick. If something had happened to Lily, and I was being blamed while the real person was free. The preliminary hearing was on a gray Thursday. Small courtroom, wood-paneled. Mom and Paul sat opposite, with the prosecutor. Mom wouldn't look at me. Paul stared ahead, jaw set, suit neat, playing the concerned father. The prosecutor presented the accusation. Lily told a school counselor her brother touched her inappropriately. The counselor reported it. Lily repeated specific details to detectives. David argued it was false, motivated by family dysfunction and manipulation. He requested an independent expert re-interview Lily. The judge, an older woman with steel gray hair, granted it. She also ordered a full investigation by Child Services into our home. Leaving, I saw Mom in the parking lot, crying, leaning on Paul's car while he rubbed her back. Part of me wanted to run to her, make her understand. "But you're evil." "I've always known it," echoed. I followed Sarah to her car, not looking back. The independent interview with Lily was set for the next week. Sarah enrolled me at her local high school to finish senior year. New school. Everyone stared. Whispers followed me. The story had spread. I kept my head down, went to classes, no friends. 5 days after the hearing, I got home. Sarah was on the phone, troubled. She gestured for me to sit. When she hung up, she explained David had the preliminary report from Child Services. During their home investigation, they found something disturbing, a hidden camera in Lily's bathroom. My blood ran cold. Concealed in a smoke detector, professionally installed, recording to a remote server. Paul's laptop was confiscated. Forensic examination started. Based on preliminary findings, Paul was being arrested. Charges were pending, but it looked serious. I should have felt vindicated. Instead, just hollow, worried about Lily. If he was recording her, doing other things, how long? How did I miss it? I saw her every day. Why didn't I notice? David kept me updated. Lily had talked to her school counselor weeks earlier about distress, but that report was filed the same day Paul accused me. He'd learned about her conversation and preemptively made his false report to deflect. 2 days later, David called again. Lily's second interview. A different story. With a child psychologist, without Paul, she broke down. Her father told her what to say about me. Coached her. Made her practice. Said bad things would happen to her and Mom if she didn't. The psychologist's report indicated prolonged manipulation and possible harm. Lily was removed, placed in temporary foster care. Mom wasn't arrested but was investigated for failure to protect. The case against me? Dropped immediately. I waited for Mom to call. Days passed in silence. Sarah said Mom needed time. I knew better. Mom had chosen Paul over me. Called me evil. Stood by while I was arrested. Looked at me like a monster. Some betrayals don't heal just because the truth comes out. 3 weeks later, a letter. Sarah handed it to me. Mom's handwriting. I took it to my room. Sarah had given me her bedroom. She was on the couch and sat on the bed. For pages, lavender stationery, Mom's special occasion paper. She apologized profusely. Said she was blind, manipulated, terrified. Claimed she doubted Paul but was too afraid to speak. Wanted to meet, explain, heal. Missed me. Loved me. Hoped I could forgive her. I read it 3 times. Put it in my desk. Didn't respond. I understood Paul was manipulative, Mom was a victim too. But understanding didn't erase her words, her actions. She abandoned me. Believed I could harm Lily. Some things break beyond repair. Senior year continued. I pulled up my grades, worked extra shifts at a bookstore near Sarah's. Applied to colleges far away. Sarah supported me, never pushing me to contact Mom. Lily's case moved slowly. Paul was charged with multiple counts for the camera and other evidence from his devices. I didn't need the specifics. Lily was getting help, with a foster family specializing in trauma. I asked David if I could write to Lily. Not yet, he said. She needed space. But he'd tell me when. I wrote letters anyway, kept them in a box under my bed. Mom called repeatedly. Sarah always answered, asked if I wanted to talk. Always no. More letters from Mom, increasingly desperate. Wanted me to understand her perspective, how hard it had been for her. Talked about Paul's manipulation, her isolation, financial dependence. Never quite took full responsibility for her choices. Summer came. I was 18, graduated, decent grades. Accepted to the University of Arizona, 3 hours away, partial scholarship. Sarah helped with paperwork. I was leaving in August. David called. Prosecution wanted me to testify about family dynamics. I agreed. If it helped put Paul away, help protect Lily, I'd do it. Testimony day. Courtroom crowded. Media coverage. People recognized me. I wore the only suit I owned, borrowed from Sarah's boyfriend, Mark. David prepared me, but nothing prepares you to talk about your life falling apart to strangers. I told the jury about Paul, his changes, Lily, our relationship. The prosecutor asked what it felt like to be accused of something so awful. The horror. The confusion. The betrayal when my own mother believed it. Jurors looked uncomfortable. One woman wiped her eyes. Paul's defense attorney cross-examined me aggressively, trying to paint me as a troubled teen, seeking revenge. David had warned me. I answered calmly, stuck to facts. Didn't let him rattle me. Drained, but glad I did it. Jury deliberated 2 days. Paul was convicted. Sentencing next month. Prosecutor's office asked if I wanted to give a victim impact statement. I declined. My role was peripheral. Lily was the real victim. August. Hot, humid. Sarah helped me pack, not much, clothes, books, Lily's letters. Drove to the university. Campus was beautiful. Dorm room small, but mine. Nobody knew my history. She could have genuinely experienced something traumatic. But the perpetrator isn't you. That last possibility had already haunted me in that cell. It made me sick. If something had happened to Lily, and I was being blamed while the real person was free. The preliminary hearing was on a gray Thursday. Small courtroom, wood-paneled. Mom and Paul sat opposite, with the prosecutor. Mom wouldn't look at me. Paul stared ahead, jaw set, suit neat, playing the concerned father. The prosecutor presented the accusation. Lily told a school counselor her brother touched her inappropriately. The counselor reported it. Lily repeated specific details to detectives. David argued it was false, motivated by family dysfunction and manipulation. He requested an independent expert re-interview Lily. The judge, an older woman with steel gray hair, granted it. She also ordered a full investigation by Child Services into our home. Leaving, I saw Mom in the parking lot, crying, leaning on Paul's car while he rubbed her back. Part of me wanted to run to her, make her understand. But you're evil. I've always known it echoed. I followed Sarah to her car, not looking back. The independent interview with Lily was set for the next week. Sarah enrolled me at her local high school to finish senior year. New school. Everyone stared. Whispers followed me. The story had spread. I kept my head down, went to classes, no friends. 5 days after the hearing, I got home. Sarah was on the phone, troubled. She gestured for me to sit. When she hung up, she explained David had the preliminary report from Child Services. During their home investigation, they found something disturbing, a hidden camera in Lily's bathroom. My blood ran cold. Concealed in a smoke detector, professionally installed, recording to a remote server. Paul's laptop was confiscated. Forensic examination started. Based on preliminary findings, Paul was being arrested. Charges were pending, but it looked serious. I should have felt vindicated. Instead, just hollow, worried about Lily. If he was recording her, doing other things, how long? How did I miss it? I saw her every day. Why didn't I notice? David kept me updated. Lily had talked to her school counselor weeks earlier about distress, but that report was filed the same day Paul accused me. He'd learned about her conversation and preemptively made his false report to deflect. 2 days later, David called again. Lily's second interview. A different story. With a child psychologist, without Paul, she broke down. Her father told her what to say about me. Coached her. Made her practice. Said bad things would happen to her and Mom if she didn't. The psychologist's report indicated prolonged manipulation and possible harm. Lily was removed, placed in temporary foster care. Mom wasn't arrested but was investigated for failure to protect. The case against me? Dropped immediately. I waited for Mom to call. Days passed in silence. Sarah said Mom needed time. I knew better. Mom had chosen Paul over me. Called me evil. Stood by while I was arrested. Looked at me like a monster. Some betrayals don't heal. Just Sarah hugged me goodbye, telling me I was stronger than I thought. She drove away before I could see if she was crying. College was a fresh start. I used my middle name as a nickname. Nobody connected me to news stories. Made friends slowly. Biology study group. Eating in the dining hall instead of hiding. Healing in increments. Mom's letters continued, forwarded from Sarah's. I started reading them, not responding. She'd divorced Paul, moved to a smaller apartment, therapy, working to understand her failures. Updates on Lily, thriving in foster care, art therapy. Mom had supervised visitation once a month. Christmas break. Sarah invited me. Gratefully accepted. Not ready for Maplewood. Christmas Eve, at Sarah's decorated tree. Unfamiliar number. I almost didn't answer. Hello? Is this you? Small, uncertain voice. My heart stopped. Lily. Mom gave me your number. She said I could call. A pause. I wanted to say I'm sorry for what I said. Dad made me, but I should have been braver. 10 years old, apologizing for something forced upon her. I swallowed hard against the lump in my throat. Lily, you have nothing to be sorry for. Nothing that happened was your fault. Do you understand that? We talked 20 minutes. Foster family, new school, art classes. Healthier, voice lighter. She asked if we could see each other. Absolutely. We'd coordinate with her social worker. After hanging up, Sarah found me crying on her balcony. She sat, just present. Good tears. Healing tears. Washing away some poison. Spring semester. Psychology major, thinking of Lily. Trauma, recovery. Grades strong. Started dating Chloe from chemistry. Patient when I struggled to talk about my family. Life moving forward. Mom sent a letter in March, asking to meet. Sarah talked it through. What did I want? I owed Mom nothing. Days of thought. Anger, hurt still there. But she was a victim too, trapped by a predator. Agreed to meet, neutral location, coffee shop near campus. Mom arrived early, looked smaller. Lost weight, face drawn. Awkward conversation. Stilted. She apologized again, specifically. Acknowledged her unforgivable actions. Calling me evil, a forever regret. Explained Paul's manipulation, how he convinced her I was dangerous, fed her carefully selected evidence, isolated her. Her fear. financial dependence. His threats. I listened. When she finished, I asked the haunting question, "When did you start believing him about me?" She looked at her cup. I don't think I ever completely believed it. But I let myself be convinced because believing him was easier than facing the truth about who he was. I chose the easier path, and you paid the price. That's something I have to live with. It wasn't enough, but it was honest. We talked 2 hours. Her therapy, her work on patterns, rebuilding with Lily. I kept things surface level about school. Agreed to stay in contact. Not forgiveness yet, but a door slightly open. Summer. Internship with a youth advocacy organization, foster system kids. Challenging, meaningful. Thought of Lily constantly. Her letters, still in their box. Gave them to her social worker. Let Lily decide. Paul's appeal denied. Long sentence. Not eligible for parole until Lily was an adult. Relief, not celebration. Family shattered. A child had been traumatized. Years lost to fear and anger. Senior year of college. Strong grades, campus organizations, child welfare advocacy. Chloe transferred, amicably. Good friends who knew my story. Lily turned 13. Foster parents pursuing adoption. Lily wanted it. Mom had mixed feelings, but supported Lily. I sent a birthday card, art supply gift certificate. She sent back a thank you note, drawing of 2 stick figures flying a kite, brothers underneath. Meant everything. Graduation. For years, rebuilding. Sarah flew out, cried. Mom asked to come. After talking with Sarah and my therapist, yes, therapy now, processing everything, I agreed. She sat in the audience, hugged me briefly, said she was proud, didn't overstay. Accepted to grad school, social work, 2-year program, child trauma. My internship confirmed it. Couldn't change what happened to Lily or me, but I could help others. Summer before grad school. Saw Lily in person. Park, halfway. Adoptive parents present, gave us space. Taller now, bright eyes. Walked around the lake, talking about everything and nothing. Do you hate Mom? She asked, 30 minutes in. Honest answer without burdening her, no, I don't hate her. Still working through complicated feelings, but not hate. What she did hurt me badly, and we're navigating that. But she's working on herself, and she loves you very much. Lily nodded. My therapist says it's okay to love someone and still be angry at choices they made. Both things can be true. Your therapist is right, I said. Very true. 3 hours. Her parents signaled time. Lily hugged me. Can we do this again? Absolutely. Driving back to Sarah's, I felt lighter. Grad school. Intense. Coursework made me examine my own trauma. Fieldwork at a children's advocacy center, direct work with kids who experienced harm. Every session, why it mattered. Mom and I settled into a careful relationship. Phone calls every few weeks, coffee when I was in Maplewood. She was dating someone new, quiet, a librarian, completely opposite Paul. Cautious with Lily. I appreciated it. 2 years into grad program. David Miller called. Documentary filmmaker for wrongful accusations. Wanted my story. David vouched for them. Thought it over. Privacy sacrifice, worst moments public. But helping others. After talking with Sarah, my therapist, Lily's therapist, I agreed. Filming took months. Interviewed me, Sarah, David, psychologist, even Mom. Respectful, sensitive, focused on systemic issues. Lily declined. Her privacy. Documentary premiered, streaming service. Overwhelming response. Messages from falsely accused, struggling families, child welfare professionals. Uncomfortable visibility, but meaningful. Unexpected message, Daniel, my biological father. Saw the documentary, recognized mom. Realized he couldn't hide from past mistakes. Not asking to be a father, understood he forfeited that. But sorry. Agreed to a call. He lived in Colorado, remarried, 2 young kids. Explained being 19, terrified, leaving was cowardly, regretted it. I listened, thanked him, ended the call. No promises. Some bridges take longer. Graduation from master's. Job offer from the advocacy organization. Develop a program for siblings of those impacted by harm, secondary trauma. Position felt designed for me. Accepted. Moved to Phoenix. Lily, 15, thriving, still with adoptive family. Saw her regularly. Dinners, movies, hikes. Called me her brother, no hesitation. Meant everything. Mom continued healing. Volunteered at a domestic violence shelter, helping women recognize manipulation. Published an essay, taking accountability, encouraging parents to trust children. Went viral. Supportive messages, cruel ones. Handled both with grace. 6 months into new job. Mom called. Meet. Important discussion. Restaurant downtown. She looked nervous. Lily graduates soon, she said. Thinking about the future. I don't expect you to forgive me. Don't expect us to be close like before. But I hope we can keep building something, even if it's different. I set down my fork. I've forgiven you, Mom. Not everything is fine forgiveness, but I'm not carrying this anger anymore forgiveness. What you did was terrible. It changed me permanently. But I understand the factors, and I see the work you've done. We can keep building. She cried, quiet tears. That's more than I deserve. Maybe, I agreed. But it's what I'm offering. We talked about lighter things, Lily's art, Mom's new partner, my work. Not perfect, but real. Enough. Years passed. Lily, graphic design college. Mom, certified domestic violence counselor. Sarah married Mark, I was family in the wedding. My program expanded nationally, helping hundreds of siblings. Lily's 21st birthday. We all gathered, Lily, her adoptive parents, Mom, Mom's partner, Sarah, Mark, me. First time all together. Could have been awkward. Instead, a celebration of survival. Lily raised her glass. Thank you all for being here. For everything you've done to help me become who I am. Special thanks to my brother, who never stopped fighting for the truth and never stopped loving me. Even when it would have been easier to walk away. You showed me what real family looks like. The room quiet, Sarah sniffling. I raised my glass back, a lump in my throat. Later, on the patio, Mom approached. Can I say something without you thinking I'm asking for anything? Sure. I spent years wishing I could go back. But lately, I've been thinking that maybe the point isn't to erase the past. Maybe it's to acknowledge what happened, accept responsibility, and build something better with whatever time we have left. Thank you for letting me be part of tonight. I thought. You're right. We can't change what happened. I was 17, arrested, accused of the unthinkable. You called me evil. Those facts exist. But we're not those people anymore. We're who we became after all that. She nodded. Understanding. Our current relationship was separate from the lost one. Smaller, more careful, different foundations, but it existed. Now, 31. I direct a national program for siblings of those impacted by harm. Conferences, training, policy. Demanding, fulfilling. Lily and I close, talk weekly. Mom and I have settled into peace. Regular contact, visits, honest talks. The documentary still reaches new audiences. Messages from falsely accused teens, listening parents, supporting siblings. I offer resources, share what I've learned. My message is simple: survival is possible. Healing takes time. Families can rebuild even after devastating betrayal. New structures might be different, but not less valuable. I sometimes think of that 17-year-old walking out of chemistry, world collapsing. I wish I could tell him he'll make it, that the pain won't last forever, that life on the other side is worth fighting for. But maybe he already knew it. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, how much strength we all have inside us, waiting to be found?